So moving over to the fantasy segment, we all love fantasy and it's coming up. We can't wait to draft. We're doing a dynasty league of our own. Not no fucking auction draft though. And so the first question we have is the tight end fantasy sleeper. So these are guys that, may not be at the top of your list, but could have a stellar year. So first, Dobbs, go ahead with yours.
Man, first of all, Jared Cook, you sleazy son of a bitch. You sleazy son of a bitch. Adam Troutman's going to show you what a real tight end looks like. And at an ADP of 185, I'm cheesing. Dayton fans are cheesing. Adam Troutman's going to show the NFL what he's made of. I've been waiting for it. Jared Cook's bitch ass was getting touches, going talking shit about the Saints, fumbling away Drew Brees' last Super Bowl chance. Oh yeah, no, I hope he knows it too. Man, scrub. Adam Troutman's going to show the Saints and the NFL what a real New Orleans tight end looks like. With that said, let's get the flexing on Adam Troutman.
I'm about the Adam Troutman train. I'm going to jump on it.
Okay.
No, everyone needs to before it's too late. I'm telling you guys.
An incredibly hostile response, Connor.
All right. My sleeper tight end this year is Irv Smith Jr. from the Vikings. They lost Kyle Rudolph. And, that's a pretty high-powered offense. I think they were top 10 in scoring last year. So he's going to be the third option in Minnesota. I'm sure he'll get a bunch of targets either in the red zone or off screens, a lot of flat rollouts and whatnot. Kirk Cousins likes to throw the ball around a little. His ADP is 131, so you can get him pretty late. Tight end 2, pretty good upside. So I think Irv Smith Jr. is going to have a lot of value.
I went with a newly signed guy. He's on a new team this year, a team that loves to use tight ends, historically has done a great job of using it. I'm going with Jonnu Smith on the Patriots. His current ADP is 134. I think he's been going in people have been reaching on him round 9, I'd say. But this man is a freak of an athlete. He's so fast. He looks like a receiver. They did sign Hunter Henry. I don't think that matters that much. I think Jonnu Smith is so good that he could be threatening to lead the team in receiving this year. I think he's that good. They did sign Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. But again, Jonnu Smith is that good. He's that good of an athlete. He's going to dominate in that offense. I truly believe it.
Well, that is for your tight ends. I'm going Cole Kmet. I don't know if you watch his. I don't know he did not get the ball a ton last year, but when he got the ball, he ran angry. He was pissed. And there'd be 4 guys on him and he was just pissed. So I think with Jimmy Graham was a good red zone target last year and all that. But I honestly think that whole year was to kind of teach Cole Kmet of what they're expecting him to do. So I think they're going to play Kmet a little bit more. And I think honestly with A-Rob and Mooney, and then we have Graham and Kmet in the middle at an ADP of 140. I think he's easily worth the risk. I might, yeah. But that'll wrap it up for our tight end fantasy sleepers. We have so we're doing this all off of Fantasy Pros and the rankings. So they have wide receivers. We're doing this all PPR, and they have receivers ranked in tiers. So we had what fantasy tier 4 receiver, according to Fantasy Pros, will finish the best of their group. Dobbs, go ahead.
All right, so I went with the guy with the lowest ADP out of all of us, which is T. Higgins. And my logic on this is actually really simple. And hear me out on this, because I know there's a lot of really good options for you.
Dirty C.
But here's why. Because Jamar Chase is going to open up T. Higgins even more and T. Higgins was already getting open by himself last year. Well, with the help of Jamar Chase, I think T. Higgins is going to be, as we've said, Jamar Chase is going to be burning dudes over the top. T. Higgins is going to be open a lot. T. Higgins is now the possession receiver of this team, kind of in a way. I think he's going to see a ton of targets. He's going to catch a lot of balls, even if it's not super deep. He's going to be a good third guy to go to on third down. And the Bengals offense is probably going to be pretty good. So with that said, I think T. Higgins out of here has a really good chance to be really, really good value, especially at 67. So anywhere around there, you get great value out of T. Higgins this year.
Do you think Cincy is kind of crowded in the receiver space though?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like Joe Burrow, I mean, like I think the Bengals drafted him to throw the ball a lot. I mean, like they
That's
know,
fair.
like Joe Burrow can, like that, like I think that's the goal. Like Joe Burrow is the type of guy who can throw the ball like 30, 40 times a game and get it done. I mean, we saw at LSU, like I think that like there's just a lot of mouths to feed, but Joe
Yeah.
Burrow's the type of dude that can feed a lot of mouths. Kind of like over there, you know, it's like he's obviously not Tom Brady, but like it's kind of like how the Bucks can manage to feed a lot of mouths too. Like I think that, and also like I really do think Jamar Chase and Higgins are going to be like a nice little combination.
I feel you.
I always hate to say this too, but it is a part of the NFL. It is a part of fantasy, a big part of fantasy, actually. If for God forbid some injury happens to one of the Bengals receivers, I think the production of the other two guys is going to skyrocket. So God forbid something happens to Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, like T. Higgins is going to have a very good year too. So
I agree. Connor?
Before I give mine, also, do you guys know the Burbs pro anti list thing that I always have running and whatnot?
yeah, of course.
The Dirty C is now on the pro list. So
Was it on the
C?
was it on the
What is
anti?
this? What is this pro list?
So last year when we had the podcast with Harris, we would do, you know, like just people that we fucked with or whatnot more than anybody else, and then like
Okay.
anti people. And then at the end of the year, we do a pro list award member, like
Okay.
person of the year, and then anti list. So now we got the Dirty C on the pro list.
So where does
C.
Joe Mixon fall on this list?
Gosh,
We're pretty torn.
He's in the Dirty C.
It's not.
I like Joe Mixon.
Oh, he's
I
in
like-
the Dirty C.
still-
my god!
I'm
Hey.
still rapping Joe Mixon.
I'm repping Joe Mixon too right now.
I feel like Hunter's forced to now.
Can I just
Like
be
it's you,
honest?
forced.
No.
I just think it's so funny to like get attached to something that's kind of on the grosser side of it and then just like
Yeah.
gas it up so much. It's so fun.
That's
Like
exactly,
Cincinnati-
you guys are in a fun position.
Cincinnati
Ew.
probably is not that cool of a place, but I'm just gonna gas it up and make it seem like it's the best place
When
ever.
is
Look at the
people- when-
Ferris wheel.
Bro, has someone ever said to you?
wheel on earth.
Has someone ever said to you, "Yo, let's go to vacation. Let's hit Cincinnati."
Oh no, you're pulling the Noah. The Joe
Joe
Key.
Team.
Joe Key on Cincy?
All right,
Petty.
wait, sorry, Connor,
Cincy.
go ahead.
Okay. All right. So my tier 4 receiver, I took the highest ADP or the lowest ADP, the one that'll be drafted first, and that's Julio Jones. His ADP is 40 right now. I think he's a steal in like the 3rd to 4th round. I mean, the man's has always been a 1st or 2nd round pick, no matter what. He's gonna get 100 yards receiving every game. And you know, I really like the style of offense. I think it fits him a little bit better than it did in Atlanta. So I think he's going to see more end zone targets this year than he ever has in the past. So, I mean, I'm taking Julio Jones in every draft in the 3rd or 4th round when I can get him.
Can I propose a question real quick too? Fantasy related, of course. So there's a lot of disparity between the rankings like on ESPN and NFL.com, right? The biggest one that I've always noticed is AJ Brown in NFL.com has been mocked late 1st round. Like he's the 10th person in the rankings.
Wow.
ESPN is like he's around 20, so like back of the 2nd round, right? I personally, I don't buy the AJ Brown 1st round fantasy value. I want to see what you guys thought because to me that was always bizarre. Like he's a crazy athlete. He's so good, but you also added Julio, right? And like Julio is still really fucking good. Like I know he's old, but he is a monster still.
I can see that next year, depending on how he plays this year. I would feel more comfortable. If you can get him at the end of the 2nd round, take him. But I could see like a middle 2nd round selection. I think that's fair. Or like big if it's like heavy receivers taken the 1st round, like not many running backs are taken, which would be rare. I can see taking earlier 2nd round, but I think he's more of a mid end of 2nd round kind of guy.
Okay, cool. I agree. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't think he wouldn't get that
Not
production.
one, not
He
1st
wouldn't-
round yet.
I mean, it's like
In
for
what, a
him to
20
go
team fucking league? Maybe.
for him to go like 10th overall is like saying you think he's going to be better than Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, like all those dudes.
Well, then you also have to implement the fucking running backs that are going to get taken in the first couple picks, So it's like,
right.
I don't know. But
Okay.
Dylan, who'd you take in this tier 4 list?
I've been preaching this guy all offseason. You need to get a piece of the Rams offense. Robert Woods is a fantastic receiver, but Cooper Kupp is also going to eat. His ADP is 54. I think he can easily compete with any of these guys to be the best in this tier. And with Stafford throwing him the ball, I think he's going to come in and have one of his first healthy seasons and play all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you can get him round 4, reach on him a little bit, that's an absolute steal too. That Rams offense is going to be electric. I think Cooper Kupp's going to eat.
Mm-hmm. I think the Rams offense is going to be pretty good. Another offense that I think could be good every single year is the Vikings. So I took Adam Thielen with ADP of 47. The way I see it is Dalvin Cook, injuries are kind of here and there with him, and like you can't really rely on him to play the full season. Justin Jefferson, great receiver. Adam Thielen's a great compliment to him because that's kind of how it's going to go going forward. But it doesn't knock any bit of Adam Thielen's talent. Like he's still talented, and God forbid something happened to Justin Jefferson where he has to sit out. Like Adam Thielen's gonna be that number 1, and I don't know, like who else are you really throwing it to out there? So I mean, they got options, but Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are clear 1 and 2. So I think he's a safe pick, especially in the 4th round. Play him in a flex, like not bad.
The only thing unsafe about him is he's just getting older, and you just never know when the drop-off's coming for most guys. But other than that, I agree with you. I 100%.
Yeah,
And then,
I agree that. Oh, I was going to say,
go ahead.
Drop-off is scary, but it does need to be said. He was, I top 10 for sure, maybe closer to top 5 fantasy receiver last year.
So someone wrote down this question. I don't know who it was, but someone said, what round would you feel comfortable drafting Darrell Henderson?
All right, so I'll just say I wrote down this question real quick as we were doing the news or headline segment because I think this is an interesting question, and I think a lot of people will be interested in this and want to know. So yeah, who wants to take this first?
I don't know because I don't know too much about him, and I honestly don't really. I don't know. I felt like the Rams were really invested in Cam Akers, and I think they were going to try to implement that run game. But now they have Matt Stafford. They can throw it 50 times a game. Like, I feel like he'll get some of that workload that Cam Akers was going to get, but I'm not buying into the running game for Henderson. So I don't know.
I'll take a crack at it. I've been a big fan of Darrell Henderson ever since he came into the league. I think I've drafted in the last 2 years in a row in fantasy football. I mean, it's been like rounds 13 and lower because, you're taking a crack at a Rams running back. Why not? But if you've ever seen his highlights at Memphis, like
crazy,
they are fucking electric. Like the dude, like if there was a definition for home run hitter in fantasy football, it's Darrell Henderson. And like he's got the talent. He's been injured a lot. And I think I would be comfortable drafting him in the 3rd round if barring they don't sign anybody else. And I'm assuming that the closer we get to draft season, the more solidified every roster is going to be. I'm not seeing them, picking up a free agent 2 weeks before the first game of the season. So, I mean, once you get down to the thick of it, of the fantasy football like season and whatnot, I would be comfortable taking him in the 3rd round. Cam Akers was a 2nd round pick. I don't think the talent level's all that far off. He's worse, but I mean, not that much worse. And the offense is going to be amazing, like you were saying, Dylan. So I'd be comfortable 3rd round.
Okay. Yeah. Just touch on there real quick. I was actually going to say 3rd round too, Connor. I think I'd say 4th or 5th is like a safe bet. Like if he's there 4th or 5th round, absolutely take a flyer on him. You can always make up for, not always, but you could usually make up picking up someone, and they'll add value to your team for running back. But 3rd round, if you're really feeling ballsy, you believe in him. And let's say he does assume almost the exact same role that Akers does. That'd be an absolute steal. Like Darrell Henderson will be that good. The only other thing, like you said too, Connors, if they do add someone and you do take him that early, that's going to be horrible for that because they're almost saying that whoever they sign is going to get a lot of touches too. So
Mm-hmm.